Hello, travelers. This is going to be your air triad reading for the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Keep in mind that this is a general reading. Ours are so hard to say. Even the speech therapist told me it's the last letter that children learn, so it's incredibly hard. Depends on where it falls in a sentence. So this is a general reading, and I would like for you to check back to your moon and rising sign videos. If you want to get a reading from me, simply go to the About box section of my channel. There I have listed the number of minutes, the number of questions, and the price. And then you can email me at that address right there, hiddennoticetarot@gmail.com, and say to me, for instance, hey Tara, I want to get a 30-minute reading, and I will respond back to you. I usually respond back within 24 hours, so make sure if you contact me that you add my email address to either your contacts or check your spam folder, because I email back quickly. My turnaround time is usually 24 to 72 hours. I don't like to make people wait. So, I think that's it. So, without further ado, I have already done some shuffling and meditation on the air glyph, and I have with me right now the Radiant White deck, the LIBRA Sibila for clarification if we need, and we will be wrapping the reading up with the Heart Oracle Tarot. So let me turn the camera around and we will get started. I want to try to put another rifle and shuffle on the cards. Let's see if I can do it. This is one of the first things that I took with me. Had Hannah bring them to the hospital. I said I have got to be able to shuffle my cards, and I want to try to. At first they gave me a regular deck, and I said no, they're tarot cards. They're larger cards than regular cards. But this is the first thing I tried to teach myself to get back in the swing of things. So we are going to do 9 cards. Here we go. Knight of Coins. I had a brain fart there for a second. The King of Coins. Justice. The Hierophant. The Two of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups. The Five of Swords. The Star. And lastly, the Six of Swords. What is the overall energy of the reading? The Magician. So what do I have? I have 3 Pentacles, 1 Cup, 2 Swords, and 1, 2, 3 Major Arcana. So there are some spiritual lessons to be learned with this reading or in this situation. Right in the center, I have a 2. And 2s represent a choice, an option, a duality, an opposition. This is kind of like being at a crossroads. And you can see that the figure in the card, now normally the word play is associated with this card, but I don't ever see games or playing. What I see is someone trying to juggle two situations at the same time. This may be relationships, or it may be financial, like working two jobs. Either way, it says that decisions need to be made, firm decisions between the two options, and you need to act on it. Also, the figure is in the background has ships. So usually I see this card as being all at sea. You're feeling somewhat either torn or emotionally unbalanced. Not on balance, unbalanced. So the cards are read past, present, future, past, present, future, and the interplay of the cards. Also, I have 2 knights and I have 2 5s. That is always significant when you have double either numbers or double court cards, particularly if they are pages or knights show up. And I think in the last reading, I gave it the last video, the fire video, I gave the interpretation of 2 knights as being arguments over money matters. That's incorrect. It's usually saying that there is you don't believe in the sincerity of a male friend. And here we see this male friend. The King of Coins, usually he is a Taurus, but he can be any earth sign. Normally he can be as a profession, a business owner, sometimes wealthy, but it's money that he made on his own. He got the money on his own accord. It's money that he's worked for. But he can be a banker, an accountant, a philanthropist, and he's not really the philanthropist card, but sometimes he shows up like that. A loan officer, something to do with money. And he is sitting at the top of the spread. So I'm thinking that this message is arriving for this King of Coins. The Knight of Coins is the slowest knight of the deck. See how large the horse is? So this horse is slow and lumbering, meaning he's patient and he takes his time going places. He arrives with an ostensibly a Ace of Coins. So this is a message of opportunity. But it doesn't have to be a financial opportunity. It can be an opportunity to do something differently. And the story goes, when the Knight of Coins shows up, the news may be late in coming, but it oftentimes is good news. Something to be happy about or celebrate. With the King of Coins, the knight is turned towards him. So this is a message coming to the knight. Coming to the king. Now, Justice is a funny card because it can speak to legal issues. And I get the feeling that this is definitely a legal issue for this King of Coins or you. But it's also a card of karma. What you're supposed to do when justice shows up is to weigh out the pros and cons. Because of the scales, that's weighing two separate things at one time, two different substances like sand and water, and weighing up what's the best option for yourself. The card counsels you are always to what's the word I'm looking for? To use your rational and logical mind to make the best decisions for yourself. Now, so with karma, sometimes you may think or feel that you didn't get what you deserve. But justice says it's fair no matter what, even if you feel you got the short end of the stick. Because down here it looks like you're either moving away or gaining some distance and perspective from the situation. And so if the situation comes to an end, you are able to put it to rest. That is karmic. And you should not lament if you didn't get what you want. The Hierophant, he represents the energy of Venus because he represents the sign of Taurus. Normally, the Hierophant will speak to a marriage, a contract. It speaks to counsel from someone higher up from yourself, somebody who makes decisions and disseminates the information down to the lower people, the two acolytes there. And he normally sometimes will represent a commerce kind of a thing. So this may be a situation in which you have to make a contract with someone. And in order to make it more attractive to another person requires the services of the goddess Venus. She is not just about love and beauty. She is about harmony and right relationships and making something look attractive so that you can join in is what Venus does. It is about right relationships. I told you what the two of Pentacles meant, but we go over to the Knight of Cups. It's a cup, so it can represent just your emotional quotient. But the thing about the Knight of Cups is he's kind of a fickle energy. It's like someone telling you something and making you believe it, but they never really act on it. Or they intimate at something, but they never come right out and say it. And he is stopped in mid-stride. And so the two knights together mean that, I think, in a roundabout way, you can't count on how the person is feeling. You're doubting his sincerity of what he's saying to you or what he's doing for you or how he feels. And then we follow up with the Five of Swords. First of all, fives represent the energy of a changing energy. It's about ups and downs where nothing is quite on even keel, but the Five of Swords represents a conflict. It's either a verbal conflict, or it is mental, whether it is within yourself. Remember, I'm talking oppositions here. Whether it is a mental conflict within yourself or you are mentally trying to match wits with someone. And I'm always struck by the two swords over the shoulder. In effect, the two swords is kind of like the Two of Pentacles. You don't know what to think. And you think to yourself, maybe I should not have said that. Or, damn it, I should have said that. Either or. But the card usually represents the person that I'm reading for. So if you're watching this, you are the victor in this. See, other people have thrown their swords down and walked away. So it says to stand up for yourself in a dispute. If people are talking about you, you need to speak up and open up to the truth. Sometimes it's cautions that maybe you shouldn't say anything, because to fight with the other person, the person will stoop, two people will stoop to any level to win. But now comes the Star. And this is a card about peace and healing, good vibrations. In other words, it's a card that kind of tells you everything is going to be all right. Don't worry too much. To follow your North Star, whatever that may be for you. But I think the interesting thing about the Star card is the imagery. It's a female and she's naked. And to be naked implies having a comfort within yourself. In other words, people can see your stretch marks, your cellulite, everything all at once. You show it and you're comfortable with it. It's okay. Additionally, she takes water from the source and she poured it out in the 5 directions. There are 5 streams here that I can never remember what they are. It's mind, body, spirit. I can't remember what the 5 are. If somebody knows what they are, come up underneath the video and tell me. I can look it up, but I don't have time right now. It also implies that you have enough to fill your own well. And the last card down is the 6 of Swords. Now, both of these cards can imply some kind of relational shift or breakup or crack up. But this card says that you are moving away from troubled waters to still waters. But that wherever you go, you are taking your thoughts with you. See how the swords are like a wall in front of her? Sometimes it can represent a woman and child if the situation calls for it. Sometimes the boatman can be a friend that you know, someone come to help you through this tough mental time. Or it can be simply like the universe guiding you to a new location. So this is about moving, about around water, by water, near water. And it definitely can speak of breakups and divorces. I don't quite know. Here I see the 2 Knights and the interpretation of not trusting his sincerity of what the person is saying. Maybe that has caused some arguments and disputes. And then going this way, you know, you have a legal binding contract, be that marriage or something written down. It's up to this King of Coins to decide what he wants to do. And right now, I don't think he knows exactly what he wants to do. So I will read the message of the 2 5s. I think it's something like backstabbing and ill will from outside the relationship disturbs it. Let me make sure. No. 2 5s tell of new experiences ahead, and we see someone is leaving. They're leaving the spread. Now, the magician, I didn't forget him. It's all about the will and the ego. It's about someone, or maybe both of you, expressing your will and your ego. But when I say ego, I don't mean the ego that you are trying to perhaps impose on another person. I mean the ego, the self. It's about your will and your will and your self-determination. Think about it. The magician has everything that he needs to do whatever he wants to do. He's got all the tools of the trade on the table. A pentacle, a sword, a wand, a cup. And he is directing his energy where he wants it to go. As above, so below. This is a card of being on a mental plane because it represents Mercury. I can't say it. Mercury. And it also, with the Limonascape, says, be careful of what you think, because you can bring it into fruition, into existence. This is about manifestation of the things that you desire. So it could be about learning new skills. It's about getting a new job, maybe going back to school. But the thing I like the most about the Magician card is, I'm sure you guys have seen, anybody seen David Blaine, the magician? He practices for years on his illusions. So that probably people are telling him, no, David Blaine, you can't do that. But he keeps at it. He focuses about a single focus of direction, a single point focus. That's what it is saying to me. Having a single point focus. They say, no, David Blaine, you can't do that. And he keeps at it and keeps at it, and he keeps practicing. Nobody sees the hours that he spends practicing. They don't see the failures that occur. And then one day, David Blaine shows up and he does an illusion. And you're like, how the hell did you do that, David Blaine? So that's what the magician is all about. Creating something out of nothing. And the warning with this card is, thoughts create situations and things. Nothing in this world was created without first thinking of it. How many times have you saw some idea on the news or read about it in a paper and you said, man, I wish I had thought of that? So every time you think of something, thoughts are alive. It's not just mental energy that goes through the air. Thoughts can create things, be they good or be they bad. We have the moon underneath, and we have a new moon happening in Aquarius on the, my moon, here it is. Let me look. On the 9th, which is Friday. And the magician kind of goes along with that energy because you can do magic if you want to. I mean, you can do whatever you choose to do, and that's the magic of it. And maybe the full moon, the new moon, which is always a time of beginning new things, closing down one thing from the full moon to the new moon, and picking up something new during the new moon phase. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I can't look at these two cards, these three cards, because I have 3 court cards, and traditionally they represent people. But what I can do is look at these 3 cards as they relate to justice, the Hierophant, and the Star. And let's see what it has to say. The Two of Pentacles. Represents someone who is trying to cope with 2 separate situations at once, and they may be finding this to be a bit of a juggling act. This is often to do with financial issues. Not always, but flexibility and adaptability will be needed. It may be telling you of financial turbulence, which may have you juggling your income. It tells of good news, and you will have more than one choice or option to choose from. Do not allow others' opinions or reactions to stop you from taking your chosen course of action. It also says, if you thought something was lost, it will be returned to you or will miraculously turn up once you settle your energies. Sometimes you have too much going on at the moment, and you may be finding it difficult to concentrate and make discerning choices and decisions. It asks you not to allow changes or disturbing influences to perturb you. You are asked to stay strong and centered. With any 5 before or after the Two of Pentacles, I have 2 5s right here. It implies that your energies are being scattered, leading to undue stress and confusion. Slow down and think carefully about each step you take at this time, and allow things to flow as they will. Have faith. The 5 of Swords. With the Magician. Now listen. It indicates a possible misuse and abuse of abilities, skills, and talent caused by overconfidence. It indicates that some reconsideration needs to be put into recent plans, as there are some aspects that have been overlooked. It asks you to reconsider some decisions you have made of late, as there is a need for adjustments here and there. If you are hesitant, it is advisable to wait until the timing is more auspicious. It can imply a separation, a breakup of a partnership or relationship due to the choices made by another. This is implied by the 5 of Swords. It may be telling of a breakup, a severance of an important relationship or a partnership, and indicate the abrupt parting of ways. It may be warning of malicious gossip, of losing something or someone of importance to you, some unfair dealings and or theft, so you are asked to remain wary. It suggests that there is a need to regain one's composure before stepping forward again and going ahead with plans. Now the 6 of Swords. You may have been struggling with difficult situations recently, and the Six of Swords indicates you have managed to achieve a balance and to create order in your life. You feel in need of a break or holiday, and the Six of Swords indicates you have managed to achieve balance in your life. A change for the better is indicated after a difficult choice and decision is made and acted upon. It tells of feeling calmness after enduring anxiety and tension. It signifies self-respect, personal dignity, integrity, and peace of mind, along with harmony after a time of distress. It also may indicate new partnerships and relationships and friendships become long-term and long-lasting. It speaks to feeling powerless in a situation. You are asked to stand strong in your own convictions. Pressure on the career front. It is indicative of a time coming up where you may need to guide yourself towards a calmer position or situation in order to maintain harmony and peace of mind. It may be suggesting that a relationship or a close tie will be cut with a friend or associate, and the exact reason for this is not already obvious. If it is not already obvious, will become very clear and obvious in a short time. So I think really that Venus is a whole key here about your self-values, your values and your value systems, and what you expect out of this relationship, no matter if it's business or personal. So I'm going to pull these cards are so old. I'm going to pull cards on this Knight of Cups because it's the only one here, only cup card. It's like an offer, but it's an offer, I think, that creates problems, and eventually someone makes a decision to move on away from the problem, whether that is a severance of a relationship or literally moving away. Melancholia, sadness, depression, amalato. Okay, that has to do with health, but it can literally be someone who's making you sick. And the allegrezza al cuore. The image of this is about getting married. It speaks to happiness of the heart. The Sibyllus are very specific. They speak to different kinds of happiness. And this is happiness of the heart. And the image is of the groom and the bride. And we know it's a marriage celebration because of the headdress the woman has on her head. That's a 14th century wedding kind of accoutrement on her head. And this is her brother. So the three of them are making merry, and they are happy of the heart. What I think that means is no matter how the situation turns out, that last interpretation I read about, not the last one, about in the future you are going to have better relationships, friendships, that are long lasting and steady. And if that's what you want, you have to do what it takes to get there. So it's like, look, you're making me sick and tired, and I'm ready to go find some happiness without tact. But there it is. Oh, the card is a Four of Swords. It's called Just Breathe. It fell out of the deck. Just breathe. And that's a Four of Swords. It's kind of like the same thing as this, a health thing, where you got to take a break and step back from the situation so that you can think clearly. Don't allow your emotions to overcome you. It's okay to feel them, but you don't want to make any decisions when you're upset, you're mad, or you're sad, you're not feeling well. You don't want to make any decisions that way. So the Four of Swords, which is just breathe. The key words are step back, reconnect, rest, and recharge. So much time and effort can be expended in maintaining current relationships or in creating new ones that it's easy to forget to just stop and breathe every once in a while. This life is not just about connecting with other people. The most important connections you can have are with the divine and your higher self. This is a good time to take a break from your personal relationships and reconnect with your spiritual self. Set aside a few minutes every day to sit quietly and just be. In addition to caring for your spiritual self, look after your physical body. Get plenty of sleep, eat healthy foods, and exercise. Treat yourself to a movie by yourself or take a walk in nature by yourself. I'm adding the by yourself part to it. Step away from any cares around matters of the heart and just breathe. By taking time for yourself, by yourself, you will recharge your emotional batteries and have more energy to invest in your relationships, whatever they may be. And so that's what I have for you guys, the air signs. And until next time, namaste.